morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning. Let's see, January the 27th. We almost made it a month so far in this new year, 2026. It's about 9:08. Regular meeting, Commissioner Court, Liberty County, Texas. Let the record show that Commissioner Clark and Commissioner Whitmire are here. Commissioner Arthur is not going to be here. His son is retiring today from DPS for 30 years of service. That really is something. And of course, Greg being an old retiree from DPS, he was going to be there to help his son walk on across the stage. And who knows? It's a good day for him. But congratulations to Ryan Arthur on 30 years of service. We're trying to locate Commissioner Korbowski. So he might be here if he is. He's welcome to show up and come on up here and join us. But we're going to get started. We have business for the court. So let's get busy. Call this meeting to order. And Lee, if you would lead us in the pledges, then Gerald's going to lead us in our invocation.
Please face the American flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please face the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the clearing weather. Lord, we ask that you support all those folks who are suffering from this cold across our nation, and be with those who are most need of your help. Lord, we ask you to guide our decisions today. We thank you for the many blessings we have. In your most precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, first item up, notices and proclamations. Edie, I don't think we had any notices or proclamations this morning. Move on down to public comment. I don't believe we have anybody sign up this morning. So we'll move on down to item number 6, declare conflicts of interest. Anyone have any reason why they have a declaration to make this time? Okay. We'll move on down to number 7, the consent agenda. I hope y'all had the opportunity to look this over. Dwayne, are there any add-ons, or Kim, are there any add-ons that y'all have today?
I don't have any, Judge.
Okay. Okay. Then we'll take a moment to look those over. And if everyone's in agreement, entertain a motion in a second.
Judge, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have there. It's 7.2B. There is a payment to a Scott Durfee for $11,475. The post date was 4/11/24, and then 4/11/24, and then there was another date in there about 9/30/25, and I don't understand why that's just now coming before the court to be paid. Do we know who that is?
I don't have a clue, You could call me at my office, and I could look at the computer system, but I don't bring it.
You don't know who Scott? Yeah, well,
Commissioner, will you repeat the name?
Scott Durfee.
I don't recognize.
Okay. So,
Yeah, if you can give me a call before court, I can
well,
tell you.
I mean,
right
because of the weekend and the weather, I saw this about 7:30 last night. So I went through my
Call me
book.
this morning, and I could have told you.
I didn't know this was I just thought maybe somebody would know who that might be.
I have an idea of who it might be. Let me check.
Oh, I know who that is. It's something that,
Yeah, that's Miss Bergman's attorney for her grievance.
Okay, and we've approved that in the court, and it's just now going through.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Thank you.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Is it indicated as a payroll change, though?
No, I think it's a payment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying payroll.
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, we do have a motion from David, a second from Gerald. to approve the consent agenda as stands. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to the regular agenda. Of course, it's our first one up from the sheriff. How are the repairs coming there, Sheriff?
Judge, thank you. The fire restoration on the west end is just about complete. We're still waiting on the two doors and the window that's on order to finish that. The HVAC is finished now on the west end, and there's nothing to be done until we get approval to go with the east end. The cameras, the people are there. They're doing the wiring right now for the cameras. As soon as they get the wiring done, they can start installing the cameras. The expanded metal work is done, where the expanded metal kind of comes together. Our staff, our maintenance crew is welding angle iron there to keep an inmate from frying it to get up in there. So that'll secure all the expanded metal. The door locks, the company is there today working on the locks. The slider doors where you go in there, master control, they have a quote. We couldn't get them. They're outdated on the stuff. We're going to quote to get those going. So we're still needing the intercoms, the cameras, and the fire alarms for the west end. Hopefully we'll have that done, everything completed by the end of February. Be able to ask for another inspection and get that opened up for us to put inmates in that facility.
Yes,
Right.
good deal.
Any questions?
Any questions? Anybody?
Mr. Caloric, you sure?
You told me everything I need to know. End of February.
Thank you.
There you go. All right. That is just a report, but I would ask for approval of the report, please.
A motion to accept the report?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make the motion. We accept the sheriff's report.
Second.
Motion from Gerald, second from David. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. And Lee, just please note that I am voting on these as well.
I got you.
Okay, item number 8.2 from Ms. Bergman over the District Attorney's Office. Consider and approve the resolution authorizing the Liberty County District Attorney's Office to apply for the continuation of the grant for Victims Assistance Coordinator through the Office of the Governor, Criminal Justice Division for the years of 26 through 27, grant number 2876610. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. You can come on up and visit with us.
I should have sat on the other side.
Laurel, you're always welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. So we are, thank you, Ms. Chambers. So we are requesting a resolution to apply for a continuation of the grant that funds my position and my coworker Brenda Sanchez for victim assistance coordinators for the District Attorney's Office.
Is this just an annual resolution we get to fund those positions?
Yes, sir.
It's annual renewal then.
Yes, sir. The only difference is now the state is requiring you to put in a financial officer, which we already have in the grant anyway. So that's been included as well. And Ms. Roper knows, she's been informed. That's the only change going forward.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll see the court.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion from David, second from Gerald. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Likewise, nays. Don't think we're going to hear any nays today. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. And don't sit down yet. Laura, got one more to go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 8.3 is also from the District Attorney's Office. Consider and approve the resolution authorizing Liberty County District Attorney's Office to apply for a continuation of the grant for violence against women training through the Office of the Governor, Criminal Justice Division for the years of 26 through 27, grant number 483-9804. Okay.
Yes, sir. We are asking to continue this grant. What this is, it can be for numerous purposes. What we would like to use it for is to fund training for law enforcement, prosecutors, possibly VACs, if there's room, to learn how to address, investigate crimes targeting women. We are hoping to send kind of a group of people to the Crimes Against Women conference that's in Dallas in May, and hopefully hold an in-house training, which is what we did the last grant cycle. That's kind of our hopes for this project.
Yes, ma'am. Any questions?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion,
second.
David.
I'll second.
from Gerald. Further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your help. this
Thank y'all
morning.
so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move on down to item number 8.4 from Mr. Dennis over in the IT department. Consider and approve annual cybersecurity training for Liberty County employees.
Yeah, this is just our annual cybersecurity training. They changed the way they did the documentation this year, so they're trying to go all digital with DocuSign. So their standard form of just giving a PDF and we bring in stuff. So it kind of slipped through. Luckily, Dee Dee was like, "Hey, I haven't seen this." I was like, "You're right, I haven't either." So I followed up. It's just our annual renewal. We have till August 31st to complete everything. About $8 a user. It's standard what it was last year. Comes out of my budget. This is just to get us on par with it and make sure everybody passes.
That's some great training you had there, Nick.
Yeah.
We pulled about 94% completion last year, so looking for 100%. So we've been doing pretty good.
Good deal. So the word of this year is don't be a deadbeat.
That's right.
Okay, gotcha.
Start locking accounts.
All right. What say the court?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Gerald, second from David. Further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That
Thank you
motion
very
does
much.
carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Nick. Number 8.5 for me is consider and approve the resolution authorizing publication of notice of intention to issue certificates of obligation. And this is on moving forward with our consideration of building a new jail for Liberty County. And this is the first step in the securing the funding. Dwayne, anything you want to add to that? Or are we pretty good? Okay. Matthew?
No, sir.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion from David.
I just have a question
Okay.
before I in a second though. So the dollar figure that's in this motion, 110 million, is that from our architect?
That's from our bond people. First of all, I'll say this is y'all's COs. This is mine. Just get that clear.
This is y'all's.
This is y'all's.
It's not
I
ours.
just assisted not promoting or anything. But anyway, now the architect had a preliminary estimate of $100 million, and the bond people recommended that y'all go out for 110. Not that anybody's anticipating that, but if you come back and there's some overages and it comes up to be 103 million, then y'all got to go through the whole process again and issuance. And now if you guys approve 110 million, that does not mean that 110 million is going to be issued. It's just the number that's necessary to complete the project.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dwayne. So I would ask Matthew or Catherine or both to kind of explain to the court exactly what this process is, why we're here today, and why is it necessary that we do this?
It's law.
Yeah, it's law. Yeah, if we want, there's only of the different types of financing that the Commissioners Court has for major projects like this, only COs allow you the flexibility to finance without having to go to an election. And so, yeah, I'm trying to, where to even begin here. So if you want to finance a major project in Texas and you don't want to go to an election, this is pretty much the only way. In order to get to the point where
we actually receive the money, you have to more or less publish notice to the whole world that that's our intent, that's Commissioners Court intent. And a lot of actions, all the major actions that Commissioners Court takes with regards to money typically involve publishing notice.
Okay.
So
I think I read in here, we'll come back in late March with the
that's
with
correct.
the final.
And all this procedure and stuff is being directed by you guys, bond attorneys, Bickerstaff. They're the ones that's guiding you guys through these steps right now. So
It's a highly skilled, very niche kind of specialty. And we have great attorneys at Bickerstaff for this.
Got a motion? And looking for a second.
I'll second the motion.
Yes, second from Gerald. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 8.6 for me is consider and approve a resolution to reimburse the general fund for all architectural expenses, preliminary site studies, and engineering fees for the new Liberty County Jail with the funds received from the issuance of certificates of obligation in 2026. Basically, all it's saying is we're spending money right now with the architects. We intend on getting our money reimbursed back to our general fund. That's it in a nutshell.
you've already did one. You guys did one about a year ago when y'all purchased the land. And that was for the land and associated. And this is just to cover, I think Stephanie's got an architect bill due for, I forget the amount that we need to pay them. But then this will be, the general fund will be reimbursed when issuance of the COs.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Gerald, second from David. Further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 8.7 from Mr. Gott, consider and approve recommendation from the county auditor to include trash services. That's the county office locations only, as a pre-authorized utility payment, granting approval for the auditor's office to issue payment prior to Commissioner's Court approval. And invariably what happens here, and the reason we're asking for this, the bill for trash collection, sometimes it's sent straight to the location. Say, for instance, a JP's office. And if we don't get it in by the 10th of the month, then it goes on the next pay cycle. So then you got a late fee for picking up the trash, or they just don't pick the trash up at all. So we're just asking to get it on this method to where, yeah, we're going to pay it.
We
And,
already do it for electric and water. We do it for electric,
Yeah.
water, and gas already.
right.
Have we ever considered asking the trash services people to provide service to the county for free or as a payment for the damage they do to our county roads? I think it's a fair question. Does anybody know the value of this annual contract with the collection service, trash collection?
But just for one container at the office, it's probably, how much is it? $100 a month, $50 a month?
No, I mean, it's all over the county though, right? They're collecting the trash all
The way
over.
that the contract reads is depending upon the container, that's how we pay. There are different charges for the size and type of container.
Okay. I'd like to find out though what we pay them annually for the county, not for any individual sites. Because you can see the damage. So I'd like to pursue that in the future to try to get something back.
Little quid pro quo. All right.
We can talk after the meeting if you like.
Okay, sure. I'll make the motion to
Thank you.
approve. I'm sorry, it's only David and I, and normally someone else puts us to the motion, so that's okay. Forgive me for that.
Motion from Gerald, second from David. Further discussion. Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 88 from Commissioner Karbowski. Consider approving the interlocal agreement between the city of Devers for routine mowing ditches and mosquito spraying within the jurisdictional limits of the city of Devers to protect the public health and safety of their citizens. This is your standard interlocal agreement with that precinct and that entity.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion from David,
I'll second.
second from Gerald. I still gotta ask.
No, I understand. I understand.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor? Aye. That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 89 from Commissioner Whitmire, who is here today. That, man, I didn't get to ask you a question that you're gonna consider and approve the interlocal agreement between Liberty County Precinct 3, City of Plum Grove, Texas, to provide mutual services to Liberty County Precinct 3 and the City of Plum Grove, Texas, at a reduced expense by avoiding duplication of equipment, manpower, and other resources.
Standard.
Standard.
Same one we've had.
Well, being that it's your precinct, you want to make that motion?
I will. Make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
And I'll second that.
Okay. Motion from David, second from Gerald. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. And all in favor?
Aye.
And that motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 810 from Ms. Soliday, consider and approve Alley Farms request to release their construction bond. Mr. Coyette has withdrawn his request for county adoption of his roads, and decided to take them as a private road. All right. Melinda?
Yes, when LJA inspected it, they wanted some more work done. There's no shoulders and stuff like that, so Mr. Coyette just decided to keep it as a private road. They'll handle it themselves. That means we won't be responsible for the roadways or the ditches or anything over there. That'll all be theirs.
So we had someone in just last week talking about a permit for their drive. So we're going to be completely dissolved
Yes, sir.
of.
But
we
don't do anything with private roads.
But I'm guessing though we'll need to make sure they put large enough culverts in these drives
Right.
so that they don't create a problem.
And
for
it should be
themselves.
in their architectural drawings when they did the plans.
This is a very nice subdivision.
Yes, it is.
By the way,
And it's concrete road, so.
And after discussions, we think this is all in the county's and Mr. Coulette's best interest for us to grant this. So
Yes, sir.
I will make that motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, a motion from Gerald, second from David to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye. That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's see, Melinda, number 811, consider and approve extension request for the CDBG Midmaster Drainage Planning Project to the General Land Office. Attached to the packet for review is a letter of request from Mr. William Conlon, PE of LJ Engineering, who is working on this project. William, you want to maybe step up and visit with us a little bit? Let us know how it's going.
So, these are just a quick
Yes, sir.
schedule.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, because the actual agenda item is the contract extension to the GLO. Judge, I don't know if you remember, when we had the kickoff meeting a year and a half ago, I walked in with a schedule extension because the standard contract with the GLO is a 2-year contract. And it has 2 one-year extensions allowed throughout the contract. When we scoped the project before we even got the contract, we knew it was going to be a 3 to 4 year project.
Yep.
And so I showed up at the kickoff with the contract extension, and they said, hold off, let's get the paperwork started. Let's get everything underneath our feet underneath this, and then we'll come back to it. So we're coming up on the 2-year window. The schedule you have in front of you, if you look on the top, it says contract end, March of 26. That was the current contract expiration date. And then I have the March of 27 and 28 is like first extension, second extension. So our schedule had kind of gone out through about September, October of 27 originally. As we got into the project, the HGAC, which is the Harris Galveston Area Council, had flown topographic LIDAR stuff. LIDAR is the acronym for light detection and ranging. Effectively, it's aerially flown topography. Airplane shoots lasers down, bounces off everything, gives us a good surface terrain. That was flown January of 24, February of 24. Anticipated to get that back about a year, somewhere in that window. We didn't get the data till March, April of 25. So it was a 3 to 4 month delay just in that. So it became the easy thing to hang the hat on to say, this is why we extended the contract, even though everybody knew the contract was already needed to be extended because of the duration of the work. So contract extension is written up around the HGAC LIDAR having a delay and needing to extend the contract out. GLO is on board. We've talked with y'all a little bit. Y'all are on board. So that's the impetus of the contract extension. Pretty straightforward paperwork. The GLO, the grant administrator, they're all on board. We're knocking that out. With regards to the status update, we are complete with the hydrologic evaluation, which is the rainfall converting to peak flows throughout countywide assessment. That requires the use of the LIDAR for the drainage area delineations, where the water goes when it lands on the ground, how does it collect, how does it combine, how does it route, how does it get from point A to point B. And that gives us peak flows at strategic points within the county. That was completed probably 4 months ago. Since then, we've been working on developing our what we call the hydraulic model. That is the riverine connection, the riverine side of the model, where you take the flows and now route them through channels and the geometric shapes of the sheet flow, and water starts to collect and combine, and you get cumulative flows and define the water surface elevation, define the floodplain width. That model is super complex. We have 8 watersheds within the county, between San Jacinto, Loose Tarkington, Adlong Cedar. The Trinity's kind of split into 2, Pine Island, White's Turtle, and then the Double Spindle Neches on the far corner. Each one of those is their own model. Each one of those has its own terrain. Each one has been updated with surveyed crossings and structures and bridges. We also have what's called bathymetry data. That's where they take a boat, float it through the waters, and bounce radar down to the ground below, because LIDAR lasers don't penetrate water. So when the planes fly the LIDAR, it bounces off. We went back with boats and remote controlled pontoons and shot radar below the water to pick up the surface below. So that's being stitched in. So now we have a complete updated surface topography. That process is probably another 2 to 3 weeks away from being completed. At that point, we will also then incorporate all of the surveyed structures, bridges, and big culverts. That's probably a 2 to 3 month window to do that countywide. We have, I want to say, 800 structures that we're looking to incorporate. And those take about a day each, the level of detail and the level of complexity of the models. It's one where if you put 4 or 5 in the model and you hit go, 1 or 2 of them may crash and have an error, an instability. And so if you do it 1 or 2 at a time, you can identify, is that one unstable or is that one good? Go to the next one. So it's an iterative process, but if you try to do too many at once, you lose track of which one caused the problem, which one crashed the model. And if you go 1 at a time, it's pretty clean to make it simple and grow from there. So it's a progressive iterative process, and that's probably 2 to 3 month window. While that's being done, we also have the offsite flows. Imagine the Trinity River's watershed goes all the way to Dallas. We're not modeling all the way to Dallas. So we're going to find a spot where we can take an available data set and sample that as a flow into the county and let that be the boundary condition, and everything inside the county we model ourselves with new detail that we have. The GLO is doing a really big river flood basin study across the east, central, and west regions of kind of the Gulf Coast. So the east region has the Trinity River in it. Dannenbaum's, now Gannett Fleming, they are doing that as a master contract. We've reached out to them, gotten approval to pull their models and start using their sample of the Trinity model at the county line. We're also doing a similar analysis of Pine Island because that tributary on that side, actually more flow comes into the county than what's in the county. So we got to sample the data from Pine Island's model and get that as an inflow. And then the San Jacinto up near Cleveland, we're using the Harris County Flood Control's MapNext models because they have a really good sample at the county line that we can pull in as a hydrograph. So it gives us that large flush of water with a time series duration that we can drop in as a point, and then everything internal adds to that, and the time is all staggered or is matched, so that the time it takes for stuff from Lake Livingston or Nacogdoches or whatever on the Trinity, by the time it gets to us, our stuff has already kind of gotten in and out, if that makes sense. So the timings are correctly combined and correlated, but the offsite flows make it a lot easier, a lot simpler of a model. So all said, we expect our existing condition models to be done somewhere mid-summer, early summer. We'll run a couple calibration and validation models, historical events we can run. Once we get the geometry built, we actually go back and look at radar rainfall from like historical events, something that we have water surface elevations and a known rain, and we'll apply that very specific rainfall and see if the system reacts correctly. That means if we, Harvey may or may not be a good one because that's such an extreme event, but we can look at a storm event that has pretty good gridded rainfall, apply it and see if the water gets to the right levels. If not, we can look at changing the friction coefficient of the surface. We can change the values of the structures. We can change a couple variables, and that helps make the model more correct, more precise. So calibration, validation probably is somewhere late summer, early fall of 26 of this year. And then we plan to have a kind of a branch of work. Well, first off, the next step of that is problem area identification hotspots. So public meetings, working with the stakeholders and the people around the county to understand what they know as existing problems and problem areas, and do they correlate with what we have as hotspots, areas of extreme depth ponding, areas of roads inundated for excessive hours, significant concentration of structures that are flooding. So we'll look at the metrics and identify problem areas, start to rank and prioritize those, and have public meetings to show our data, say, are we correct? Are we way off base? How close are we? And do you agree that these are the problems that need to be solved? So from that point, we kind of have split effort. The first effort is going to be taking this new data and developing the updated flood risk mapping. So the NFIP, the National Flood Insurance Program, with FEMA, we can develop the new maps, which have the new LIDAR data, the new terrain, the best available data, all the topo we have, the Atlas 14 rainfall, and have a really good understanding of what is the true flood risk, not only along the rivers, but the way we're modeling this, we're also going to know the urban risk, the areas outside of the floodplains now that may help understand the sheet flow to get to the rivers that nobody's really analyzed before because technology really wasn't there. But with the LIDAR and the 2D surface models, we can see how does the water get to the river, not just what used to be take the flow, put it in the center of the river and let it bubble out. That was a riverine floodplain that was always mapped. Now we can see how does it get to it. And we know problem areas of smaller culverts and smaller bridges impeding the water to the channels and a new flood risk. So we'll have urban flood risk, we'll have river flood risk, and we'll have updated mapping. Our contract does not allow us to develop the flood maps to submit to FEMA. It's a federal contract versus federal contract, but the Water Development Board, which is a state agency, is the liaison to FEMA for Texas, and they have agreed to take our mapping. If we get to that 90-95% level, they will take it that final percent and submit to FEMA on your behalf.
Good.
So they will be able to be the liaison to FEMA instead of us. So that's first parallel effort. The next one is taking these problem areas and start to identify solutions, run iterative tests. Is it a channel issue? Is it a culvert issue? Is it a detention issue? Is it a combination thereof? Is it just an area that can't really be solved because it's a natural bowl and maybe it's better with buyout? I mean, there's a lot of options we have in the toolbox, and we'll start playing with those. And being that there's 8 models, I have 8 engineers working one on each, so we have a lot of horsepower being applied to this, and we can run each one of them kind of parallel together. So we can start playing with multiple scenarios. And I'm guessing, I'm probably going to say we'll have 15 to 20, maybe a hair more, of problem areas per watershed, and 3 to 4 solutions per watershed. One that solves like the 10-year, one that's try to solve the 100-year, one that is, a quick and dirty, easy solution, one that is maybe a more regional CIP kind of need to get in the state flood plan level solution. Maybe a regional problem that solves 3 or 4 together. So we've got some ways to solve these and run some iterations. So that alone is probably another year's worth of work. So I think if you look on here, the task 302, which is called future land use, that is August, September of 27. So that's kind of where we expect to have some of these alternatives wrapped up, and then start figuring out how we document them with exhibits and tables and cost estimates. And that kind of goes down into the master plan itself, where we start documenting the report side of it. But we do anticipate being somewhere in that end of 27, early 28 completion for the actual master plan, with mapping, with updated models for existing and proposed. So generally speaking, that's kind of our goal right there. The back of it is a little bit of a snapshot of our financials. So question about the contracting side of it. We have spent about $9.2 million to date, and we have about 12 to go. $7 million of that is all survey work. And that is a lot of data collection, which is going to have a large return on that investment when we get into how does somebody use these models in the future. It's got updated data. It's got bathymetry. It's got the culverts. It's got the structures. Everything that we've surveyed will be in a geodatabase that you can have on your GIS, on your system, on your computers, online, that any resident can use, any engineer can use, any constituent can use to help quicken their analysis and their choices. But you can kind of see where we sit, where we are. We're about 45% complete budget-wise. If we look at the modeling side of it, we're probably in that 30% range of the actual modeling. And I think that's on par with where I want to be, because hydrology is done, hydraulics is half done, and the alternative is still pending. So that's kind of that 35% range. So
are your earned hours equaling your burn hours?
We are ahead of the curve financially. I think we have more effort completed than funds expended. I think we are on par schedule, but I will tell you this right now. I've been doing this 25 years. I'm calling out one time where a project went as planned, and this being the 2-year in front of me. The good news is we have a lot of flexibility. So schedule wise, we will get everything that you want by the schedule. We have a lot of flexibility of how detailed, where do we spend it, and that's the communication. When the models are complete and the problem areas are identified, we can really start to fine tune the prioritization of solutions. And we can go extra detail if we start to find that I've got more resources. I can put 2 people per watershed and really get some deep dives. So we got some flexibility.
But you should be ahead at this stage of your project, because that last 10%, your burn rate goes up. You don't earn as much against it. So we shouldn't be celebrating coming in under any project. That's a very typical position to be in. And then that last bit.
That's a good point. So the other,
all your money.
The other nuance of this one is this is a grant, 100% grant funded from the GLO. So this is none of y'all's money per se. Mm-hmm. This is something that I'm assuming you don't want to leave money on the table. You want to get as much information as we can to help the county understand and manage the flood and drainage situation for the next 15, 20 years. And so we have, I was talking to Melinda earlier, when we did the bathymetry. So that's taking the pontoon boat, driving it around in the lake. That was done 2 months ago. When you compared those results, we were actually seeing spots that the boat said was below water. When you compared it to the LiDAR that was flown January 24, it's 40 feet into the banks. because the Trinity meandered 50 feet in 18 months.
Mhm.
What used to be the top of bank when the plane flew over in January 24 is now underwater 20 feet away from it, where the boat drove. And so we're like, okay, so we have to now get new LiDAR to stitch in on the same time frame we had the bathymetry. So we have the capability in-house to do aerial drones and contract with planes. So we'll be getting new LiDAR along the banks where we find these meanders. So we have a more consistent bathymetric to LiDAR to surface model. And when the surveys were taken and the culverts and bridges were modeled, those are in the right place. Those don't move, but everything around it does. And so we're finding that kind of situation. So
I just have a question. I think the last time you presented to the court, you said we would have some usable information by mid-year of 26.
Yes, sir.
But we have a lot of requests for crossover culverts to relieve flooding on one side of the road to the other. And we kind of delayed some of these responses because we wanted to get the best data available. So you're still standing by that by mid-year, we should be able to use some of your information if we're going to put a crossover in to relieve flooding from one side of the road to the next.
Yeah, my goal for our team is in 4 to 5 months have fully incorporated existing condition model with the bathymetric survey, the structures fully integrated, and the offsite flows from the Trinity, the Sand Jack, and Pine Island fully incorporated.
Okay.
Now, the calibration side, that's maybe another month or two, but that usually doesn't change a whole lot, especially for the smaller cross culverts. Those things we can still get a feel for if somebody says FM, I don't know, pick a number, 348, I don't know where that is, but and at this road, I want to know what's the queue crossing there. There's a 24-inch pipe right now. What does it need to be? We can sample draw a line, figure out the flow coming across, size of structure, drop it into the model, see if it causes an impact or a benefit, and have a better feel for that system.
Okay.
And we have the time and the money to run those iterations while we're doing the bulk rest of the work too. So if you have things like that,
So we can
definitely
contact you directly?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yeah. Don't call Brian.
I'm not calling Brian.
Call me. But yeah, that's where we sit. And that's the intent of the contract extension.
If this just tells us how to drain Tarkin and Prairie to the substantial, and that's where everyone's happy, I will be so happy. But I mean, this was our whole goal, through the process was everybody that you talk to, especially the old farmers and ranchers, boy, that water goes right yonder. But yeah, we understand that. But where does it go beyond right yonder?
Yeah.
And that was always the argument. And this way, I mean, we have new developments coming online probably for the next, I don't know, infinite amount of time. And we want to be able to say, yes, our goal is the zero impact on that property. And what is our actual going to be? It's going to be a zero impact or with a cumulative effect of multiple developments upon each other. It's going to compound that problem.
Yep.
So if this will get us there, that's the whole gist of it, is to get us there.
And we have a thought, if we get through the problem identification and we start having some the alternative analysis side of it, there is an additional thought of running pre-development, post-development conditions on site-specific developments as they come in, to say, if we take this watershed and we say these 1,000 acres get developed with or without detention on site, what does it do to the peak flow? What does the channel need to be to bring everything back into the banks? And we can develop what we've kind of sometimes referred to as a frontier program that helps get ahead of the development and know what the right-of-way needs to be, know what the channel needs to look like ultimately when more gets developed. Instead of just solving piecemeal problems of right now, we can plan for future development as well. And that was the reason why that task is called future land use, not just alternative analysis. Kind of gives us a second parallel effort on the alternative side of solving current problems and planning for the ultimate needs when future development comes in. and we can look at it with and without on-site detention, because the on-site detention part brings that peak flow back down to the existing conditions, but it delays the timing. And so timing does have an impact when you start adding things on top of something else. Yeah, it can move the flood zone a little bit because of just peak on peak.
I got you. Right. Well, the whole story goes, how can I request, or how can we request collectively mitigation funding if I can't prove it?
Yeah.
That's just,
And that,
I
yeah,
mean,
so
I can't prove the need. You know, well, I know there's a project I looked at. It's probably 15 or 16 years old that Batiste Creek over on the Days side that was estimated to be 125 million 15 years ago just for mitigation purposes. And we didn't get funding for it. And the reason was we couldn't prove it.
Yeah.
But it butts up also to Hardin County. So it's, again, the cumulative effect. And everybody says the water goes to Beaumont. I'm not going to argue with it, but the other side of it is, let's prove it. That's what we're doing.
and the outcomes will be in FMPs, FMEs. Those are flood management project, flood management evaluations. Those are different categories that go into the state flood plan. So the Water Development Board and the GLO are both managing kind of the state flood plan, and that's effectively the clearinghouse shopping list for federal appropriations and state appropriations. And they just go down that list of ranked and scored and prioritized. And when there's a funding line, everything above that line gets funded, and they can justify the project. So if we can get the projects identified, outline them in the right detail for the FMEs or FMPs, and then submit them to the state, we'll get in that state plan.
All right.
So,
well, thank you, William, for the.
We're working towards it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Any more discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion from David, second from Gerald to approve the extension request. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays, and that motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's see, Melinda, item 812 is to consider and approve Serenity Pines Section 1 final plats, roadway design report, mass grading and detention facilities for Phase 1 in Precinct 3. Attaches the packet and the recommendation for approval letter from LJA Engineering. Pretty self-explanatory. David, that's yours.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's good. I need a few more roads up that way.
Melinda,
Yeah.
you got anything else you want to add to it?
No, sir.
Nope. Okay.
I talked to Brian last night as well. He got called to New Mexico by his company, so he couldn't be here today. And so, I looked at the letter from LJA. It looked like it said it was the third revision, but
Yes.
they've met all the criteria. And so I will make a motion to approve.
Yeah, it's good.
You got a motion from Gerald, is that second, David?
Second.
Any further discussion? Well, I'm pretty easy on that. I can
Yeah, you
even
can hear
how this
out of that
is.
ear, huh?
Call for a vote. All in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 813 from Ms. Soliday, consider and approve Serenity Pines Section 2. Final plats, roadway design report, mass grading and detention facilities for Phase 1 in Precinct 3. Attached in the packet is a recommendation for approval letter from LJA Engineering. Pretty self-explanatory.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion from David, second from Gerald. Further discussion? Call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
And that motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 814 from Ms. Soliday, consider and approve Serenity Pines Section 3. Final plats, roadway design report, mass grading and detention facilities for Phase 1 and Precinct 3 attached. In the packet is the recommendation for approval letter from LJA Engineering.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion from David, second from Gerald. Further discussion? Call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion does carry.
Gentlemen, before you leave, please let me get signatures.
Yeah.
That way I just have to run around and find 2 of them. Thank you.
Thank you. 8:15. Finally, Lee, we're gonna get to talk to you today. Okay. Consider and approve the extended warranty on the Liberty County election equipment from Hart Civic in the amount of $8,400. And Lee, still under warranty, huh?
Well, we've been extending it every year. This equipment, we got it in 2019, January 2019.
Yeah.
So it's beginning to wear out a little bit. The extended warranties are paying for themselves now. So I would recommend that we continue it. Dwayne, where do you want to pay for it? Extended warranties for the election
Software
equipment?
maintenance, or you could pay for it out of your elections if you got money there.
You want to pay for it out of the election fund? Okay. I mean, there's sufficient funds in there. I just wasn't sure.
But you think this is a good investment because of the issues you've had in the past, you recover, because normally extended warranties are not a good bet, right?
Yeah, but this equipment, like this election coming up, we've got all locations open except 2. We currently have 4 machines back at Hart being fixed. One of the scanners failed. They're getting old enough where they're starting to do that, and they are moving parts. So,
Okay. And with this, you get a better response from the service folks.
we basically say we're having trouble with this machine. It's, we sit up there under security. They fix it. They bring it back under security, and they keep them going.
Okay.
We just don't have a lot of spares, so keeping the extended
Again,
warranty going is a good thing.
That was my only question, if you thought this was a good investment. So
This is very expensive equipment. I mean, when you look at the
Okay,
8,400 in consideration of the
What it could be.
700,000 we spent
Yeah.
on it, it's not a bad
Okay.
All right. We'll say the court.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Gerald, second from David. Further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor? That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 816 from Commissioner Karbowski. Consider and approve the renewal of the road use bond number 104011033 for Joy Resources in Precinct 1. Is that Joy or Jay? I wonder.
Joy.
Joy, okay.
It's Joy.
In Precinct 1, the continuation certificate is attached in the packet for review.
Matthew.
Matthew, any problems with this one?
Just looks like an
can't say
annual
that we
renewal, right?
Know enough
We don't know.
to advise either way, without Commissioner Karbowski here.
Well, he put it on there, so make a motion to approve.
I think I'd rather table it. I'm sorry. I think we're going to approve this. I really think so, because it looks like it's
I would
just,
call my-
The
But
question
I don't-
might be is if there's a timeline on it.
and I don't know that.
We could go pull the bond out of the
You hadn't
box
heard
if
from
you
him?
want, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
He says he's not coming. It's the only thing I heard.
Okay,
He's had some issues today.
okay. Well,
Um,
I'm pretty sure it would be,
I think it will be passed. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I looked at it. It just looks like an annual renewal, because I think they have a continuing presence in his
Mhm.
precinct for a road bond. I think
Yes.
the figure was like $60,000. It's not a huge sum of money.
Unless it's a timeline,
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to
I'll
redo
make-
your motion, I'll second it
make
for
a
you,
motion
Dave. But
to approve.
I needed a little more discussion before I talked myself into doing
David
it.
does have a motion to approve. Is that your second?
I will second. Yes.
Okay, motion, David, to approve.
I don't know that there is a time pressure on this. And at least in my mind, I can imagine scenarios where this is a request, from that company that Commissioner Karbowski, the recommendation may even be against it. I would just recommend that y'all table it for
But
now.
did he place this item on the agenda? Okay.
Yep.
So that,
Yeah, I mean, he usually does. at least
yeah,
something.
he placed it on there. It's a good point.
Yeah, no, I just recommend caution, but.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I don't have any information to say that it's no either. I just think.
Well, there's several ways we can look at it. Table it, it's going to come back at the next meeting. Take no action, it'll come back whenever we get darn good and ready. And if you say no, then it is no. If you say yes, then it's yes. I mean, we got 4 routes to go here. So
Yeah, I think based on our legal counsel, maybe we should table it and bring it back for the next, but I mean, I'm sorry, I'll withdraw my second.
Dave, you withdraw your motion.
Yes.
You want to change your motion?
Yes.
So I'll make the motion to table the item for the next, court meeting.
Exactly.
Okay. Gerald's gonna table. David's gonna second. Man, I'm getting red marks all over my agenda here.
Sorry.
It's okay. All right, got a
Sorry,
motion to table. Further discussion. Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So we will table that item. And we'll see it next month. Okay. Item number 817 from Commissioner Clark. Consider and approve engaging LJ Engineering to develop a scope of work, design specifications, and drawings for the County Road 602 project in Precinct 4. Estimated cost for the engineering work is approximately $45,000. Now, Gerald,
Yeah.
602 is Wolf Island Road.
That is Wolf
And
Island
that's a
Road.
long rascal.
Yeah, it's
How many
8 miles.
How many miles is that?
It's about 8, but
Yeah.
we're not going to have enough money to do the whole 8. So we're going to start on the west end and go east toward Highway 90.
Okay.
Southeast.
That's the worst part. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst part. But since both Brian Greathouse was not here, and because the fact Brian sent me this last week before we went into the emergency management mode, and I forgot to send it to Dee Dee. So no one's had a chance to look at it. I made copies. You've got one here. It's just kind of a high level overview of the engineering cost to then pursue this project to redo County Road 602 as much as we can from Harris County line moving to the east. So since we tabled the other motion, I think it'd be best in the best interest of the court to table this one until we everyone can take a look at these costs, and we'll have the subject matter expert, Mr. Greathouse, to talk about what exactly is in this. But it's generally to provide the scope and the engineering details to go out for bids to resurface this road. So I'll go ahead and make the motion to table.
Motion from Gerald to table.
Second.
Second from David. Further discussion. Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
And that is to table. The 8 miles, a bad road. I mean, I'm trying to be nice about it, really, but it doesn't have speed bumps. It has inverted speed bumps. But, it's been like that for as long as I can remember. And it's not just because, hey, they don't care. The thing is, it's expensive.
It's very
And
expensive.
Just in anticipation, say somebody walked in and gave you $10 million today and said, Gerald, go fix 602. I mean, from start to finish. Would that cover it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 million.
I think.
Yeah,
Now
pretty close.
here's the thing. The city of Dayton just did a big job where they re-asphalt their streets.
Mhm.
The thing is, their base was sufficient to just mill the road and put some concrete slurry or dry concrete in some cases, and that provided a sufficient base to put 2 inches of asphalt on. That cost was about $400,000 a mile. This road has lots of bad areas. We don't know what's underneath the surface. And so literally, and this estimated cost from LJA does not include the geotechnical surveys. And we're anticipating having to core sample every 1,000 feet so that we get a representative sample, and also core sample the spots that are sinking and just for no reason they're lower than the rest. So over time and whatever. So those may have to be excavated and the whole base redone. So there's a lot of unknowns. This thing could run between $400,000 to $600,000 per mile.
Yeah.
So depending upon what we find. So again, we're trying to pave. We're gonna try to redo this road where for 20 years it should not need any attention from anybody to going forward. So
Something to consider. And the reason I'm asking, I drove down it Friday at HGAC Transportation Policy Council meeting in Houston. First rattle out Friday. And when I came back, I said, you know what? I'm going to drive down 602. And of course,
you didn't have any coffee on you, did you?
No.
Okay.
No coffee. And I didn't eat. No, it was rough. But when you get off of Ramsey Road and you come around the corner by Mr. Guy Jean's old property there, before you
Right.
get to the flat plate
solar
collector,
farm.
Solar farm, yeah. They got a good road, pretty good road. Tom Ramsey's done a good job, and I did explain to him one day that it does flood there. Tom, I've seen it 5 feet underwater. Really? Yeah, it does. And that's the worst nightmare for anybody that's in the road business. But yet, at some point in time, I can see it'd be way after we're getting a dirt nap, okay? That might be a thoroughfare that comes out of Harris County that serves all the way into Liberty County into Dayton. Something to consider. That is it wide enough now? I mean, those are going to be some problems.
And then that's the other thing is we're going to have to determine the city of Dayton, I think, went 20 or 21 feet, and this may have to be a little bit wider.
Yeah.
So again, the width of the road, the volume of materials used, again, that's why I don't know how far we can go with the money that we have available to us.
Well, a lot of those roads were designed for a combine to go down.
Yeah.
And not remove.
But
the header.
it's not just Ramsey Road. It's also 6026 that comes in behind, from another portion of 90 that's just less than half a mile from where, when you go past the old Guy Jean's place, it's now a solar farm. But anyway, so that's a major artery for a county road. So yeah, we're going to have to determine exactly how wide that thing is that we construct, and over time it's widened out considerably. So you just using the figures that the city of Dayton used, it's going to be wider than that. So the cost per mile is going to go up.
Yep.
And we just have to do as much as we can that we have the funds available for.
Yeah. I'm not trying to keep us here all day, but that was just something I was thinking of down the road. That hey, we won't be here, but somebody will, and they're going to look back and say, "Why didn't y'all fix it then?"
Yeah, when you look at with a quality triangle, you can do it fast, you can do it cheap, you can do it right. You can only have 2 out of 3. That's just how quality works. So we got to build a road that's going to hold up and sustain itself. So
like
we're going to build it right.
It's like throwing a pass in the NFL. 3 things can happen. Okay.
And it won't be cheap.
Good. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll get off my questions, but that was just something I wanted to kind of bring up after driving that road Friday. And woo, it was good. Okay, let's move on. Brother Rick, number 18 with the tax assessor collector, Richard Brown. There you are. Consider and approve waiving penalties and interest due to clerical error on account number 278791, the amount of $231.34.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Commissioners Court. Welcome back to the courthouse. This one doesn't seem like a big deal, and the normal case, it wouldn't even be here to get it recommended, because the basis for this is the taxpayer did not get a bill, and the tax code gives you as a court, as any taxing entity, the right to charge penalty and interest if the payment is not made by January 31st in this case, even though they didn't get a bill. That sounds kind of crazy. Of course, me as the collector, and my goal is to collect the money, I sure want the bills to go out to the people so at least they know about it. So that's always been the premise of, hey, I didn't get a bill, so I don't owe penalty and interest. I didn't know about it. Well, you should have known about it, because you should know you own property, you owe taxes, and it's your responsibility as a taxpayer, and the tax code supports this, that if you don't pay it in time, then the entity has to go out and borrow money so they can charge you penalty and interest. And that's the whole premise for, that never being recommended to you. However, this taxpayer was insistent on me saying, he said, but I didn't get my bill. I said, okay, we know. Basically, they had 10 acres of land and they split it up, and, they changed it around, and it was like 3 different owners, and all this happened. So I said, well, after about the 3rd time, he said, look, I've already paid it, and but I think, I should be getting that back. So I actually took him up. I contacted Becky down at the Central Appraisal District, and I said, and when you look on their records, it shows 549 or 541, situs address or mailing address. So that kind of struck me as, why is it inconsistent? So when Becky pulled it up, she said, wow, his homestead application showed 549, but we keyed in 541, and that's where we sent it. So he never got it. We even got it return mail, and we didn't send him any correction deal. So she said, we really made a clerical error in not doing our due diligence on it. So long story short, that's why I feel like they have agreed that they did a clerical error. It was inconsistent with the information they had, and it resulted in us sending it to improper address. Because once he found out about it, he paid it,
Right.
Once he realized it. But it was doing a petition and splitting it out and building a house, doing all these different things that resulted in this delinquency.
You collected the taxes. We're just waiving the penalties and interest.
Yes, that's it. And he's already paid that. And what's interesting as well, this is the first time Dayton ISD's had to look at this. And in fact, I got a call from Tammy. She said, we don't do that. I said, well, I understand. It's not a maybe you can do it. You shall do it. But it's something that they never have, in the 3 years of being collecting for them, they haven't had that option. So when I explained it to her, she researched it and, said she'll send it to their board to recommend it. And that was one of the things back when we took them over. They're saying, we don't like that the commissioner's court can waive our penalty and interest. And I said, they can't. All they can waive is the county's interest. If it's Dayton ISD, they have to waive their own. City of Dayton, drainage, everybody. So when this process gets done, and again, we go through this, y'all don't see the backstory on all this stuff, but it is something that's pretty, serious about it. And I don't come to you before the court maybe more than a dozen times over a period of time, because it is something pretty serious that we don't want to start waiving penalty and interest just because, hey, didn't get a bill or didn't feel like it, didn't know about it, and all this stuff. So that's kind of the backstory behind it. But it's not a big amount, but it's more the principle of it, and do recommend that you do waive it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's say the court.
I'll make a motion we approve waiving the penalties and interest.
Motion from Gerald, second from David to approve. Request from Mr. Brown. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor? Aye. That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 819 from Mr. C. over in the purchasing department, consider and approve the extension of contract for solid waste collection and disposal services. That's RFP number 2504 through February 7th of 27 with Frontier K2 LLC, exercising the first of 3 renewal options, and if applicable, execute the addendum. Harold?
Okay. This is the one that you have a question on. I don't want to put them on a spot, but we have some reps from Frontier. You might be able to ask them a question.
I thought I recognized y'all back.
They've agreed to a renewal for another year. And the way we bid it out is per container, size of container. So it's, if I'd have known there was gonna be questions, I'd brought last year's file, but I didn't get an idea how much we spent. I have no idea.
Yeah, there's no dollar figure out on that.
No, because we bid by container and we just kind of base it on the prior year's use.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have any
So are they,
questions.
I'd like to know, what is the value of this contract to you?
I'm looking it up. Please come forward.
Can you use up and see us? Come on.
The only thing it would be, what I would have is the original numbers that we bid.
Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't.
Yeah, sorry, put you on the spot.
That's okay. I normally grab the file. I'm babysitting a 11-week-old puppy. I was just scared to show her where the things were because she was eating everything in my house. So that bothered me a little bit. So I just put her in a kennel.
Miss Whitson, right?
Yes, Terry Woodson, sorry.
And they have signed the renewal at the same terms.
Everything is the same rates that we had agreed with the original RFP. I apologize. It's not bringing me up to what that I can get to it. I apologize. I can have the information for you though this afternoon and send it to you.
So is it critical that we approve this contract today? Or is it going to expire?
I think it expires, what's that on here, February 7th?
Yeah.
If you have another court before then, you can have a special meeting and approve it before then.
We can always do that.
I mean, before I approve something, I need to know what we're approving.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the value of this contract is.
Again, our original contract was bid by cost of container. There are certain containers that are located at certain sites throughout the county, including your barn.
Right.
And so that's what we are paying for, those specific sites and the specific cost of container.
There may be some containers that aren't picked up all the time.
Yeah, I'm not looking for the details. I just want to know what the county pays Frontier Waste every year for their service.
I found something.
Well, I can tell you the price for the containers, and the cost you pay per year is based on how many hauls that you ask us to do.
Okay.
So that does fluctuate a little bit. We've had a contract for a year. So we're, coming up for the renewal now. But it is based on how many hauls you do. So
That's fine. You know how many hauls you make. How much did you charge the county in your last fiscal year? What's the value of the contract? That's all I'm asking.
I can look at the budget on my phone and tell you in just a second.
Okay, I did find one number, and this is just on a price comparison that we did internally. 102,000 was the average. Again, that's built on some years there's more hauled because of storms or tree
Sure.
debris. But I would like to confirm it because this is just a spreadsheet that was done.
Yeah. So I'd like to table this motion or table this item for the next meeting.
Dee, we might have to set this up as a special meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Then allow everybody the opportunity to review and get a current value. All right, is that a motion, Gerald?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table this item.
Second?
Yeah, second.
Second from David. Further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
and that motion is tabled. Okay, moving on to item number 20 for Mr. C, consider and approve the proposal of an archaeological background study in the amount of $5,800 from Robert Kistner for the new jail. We're gonna go dig up some bones, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
This is, not, I'm gonna say required, but it's recommended by
It is.
the architect
Yeah.
to do this.
There's nothing worse than going on site and start cutting in your grade beams and you dig up a skull. It stops
Shuts
everything
everything.
for a long time.
I remember, I think the original quote was maybe 20,000 or something,
Yeah.
but the architect kind of worked with them, and now we got it down to 5,800. But if
5,800.
there is, if they do find something, this will cost possibly.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's speaking from experience. It's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a
Okay.
motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion from David. Second from Gerald. I was building a new training facility at Ellis Unit in TDC in Huntsville, outside of Huntsville, Riverside. And the location, first scoop, we got some bones and it's like, stop. And the whole thing stopped. And I was the project manager on and of course, folks from Huntsville came in, but also the folks from Austin as well. So it was, when you're digging on properties such as those that go way back, you no telling where some people were buried. But
There are Indian locations up
Yeah.
and down the river.
up and down the river as well, yeah. Okay, and motion is second, call the vote, all in favor? Motion carries, thank you. Item number 821, Mr. C, consider and approve reassignment of the award of ITB number 2601 road materials, item 1.4. The hot mix type D is delivered to the Texas Materials Group, incorporated as Vulcan Materials Company, previously awarded vendor, can no longer supply the item, and if applicable, execute the addendum. Harold?
Okay, received a letter from Vulcan saying what you just read.
Yep.
So our second highest bidder on that was Texas Materials. So we can re-award it, rescind the original and re-award it, or if you want to go out for bids again, I think it'll be the same people that bid on it every time, minus Vulcan this time. And
So Texas Material, second on your list?
yeah,
Okay.
they were second highest.
Yeah.
Or
And
second
we're
lowest,
going-
I'm sorry.
So who uses hot mix? Do you use it, David?
Yes.
So we don't use hot mix in precinct 4, but we've got a user here. And so you want to go ahead and have this available without going out for bids,
Yes.
right? And this was the second person on the list. So I'll make the motion that we approve.
Second.
Motion from Gerald, second from David to approve. Further discussion? Hearing none, call the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 822, from Mr. C, consider and approve proposal for the East Wing HVAC system upgrade in the amount of $185,209.49 from Gordian with FH Haskin through Sourcewell, EZIQC contract TXR2GC 052124 FHP for the current Liberty County Jail. Harold?
Okay, this has been on Commissioner's Court before, where y'all approved using Gordian as kind of our general contractor, and using a company called FH Passion to do things over at the jail that are included in the reconditioning of the jail. And I think we have reps from, if y'all want to come up, if you have any questions or
Mike, come up and see us.
what's going on.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so this proposal is just for the renovations of the interior on the east wing of the jail. We completed the west wing a few weeks ago. And so this is kind of phase 2 of that project. They'll bring all the inmates into the west wing, and we'll get the interior, get all the I guess, bunks and all those rooms good to go for HVAC repairs.
Tell me your name, please.
Jordan. Yes.
There's 4 air handlers, large air handlers in the penthouse and 1 split system. So we'll rehab all those systems. None of the controls are really working. We'll go through the controls, pull new wire, new actuators, new sensors, whatever it takes to get that operational. We were able to do that on the first phase. So that worked out real well and control, temp now. So they're extremely happy on that. Also, there's quite a bit of duct work that's been damaged up above ceiling from inmates, getting up there and different work and stuff going on. So that'll be the repair of all that duct work, re-insulating it all, and then whatever else we find up there.
So that's, the sheriff reported on the expanded metal project. That should keep that from happening again. Okay. And then Dwayne, this was all part of the 2026 budget that you had a placeholder for these repairs. So there's no, this isn't a shock to you.
Special fund, put budget in there, ample money, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, I'm Ms. Danielle Smith with Gordian. I do want to point out that we did have some exclusions on this particular proposal that has not been addressed yet that I want Jordan them to discuss, which is the exterior roof.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah, there's a bunch of during our investigation, we saw there's a bunch of exhaust fans on the roof that are basically completely shot, and they're going to have to be replaced in order for the jail to be completely code compliant. So when we discussed it, we figured better to do it in pieces and do that as like a separate phase instead of including that with the East Wing phase.
There's so many unknowns to that. There wasn't any drawings. Some of it's a smoke evac system.
Yeah.
Some of it's just straight exhaust.
Mhm.
We talked about bringing in we have an internal commissioning agent that we could bring in and kind of run through that and spend a lot of time, trying to figure out how it's supposed to work and figure out what the codes are, required for the smoke exhaust. And then we could propose something for that if you wanted to go that route as well.
Okay. Do you have any idea what this may cost at all?
Not at this time, because we would have to walk it and analyze it and get you a proposal to review it and make decisions of how you want to move forward. What should be included and what shouldn't be included in order to be in compliance with your HVAC system.
Okay.
The smoke exhaust fans are extremely large. I mean, they're big. They're going to be expensive.
There's several of them up there.
Got to get it compliant though, right?
Correct.
I don't think we have a choice. So.
Yeah, so this proposal will take care of everything on the interior, and then we'll bring like Mike said, we'll bring in our commissioning guy for phase 3 and have him look at the roof and get everything that we need to make sure you
So
guys
this is not going to put your work at risk, not having
Correct.
these things. You can do this sequentially.
Correct.
And it won't
we'll be able to
void a
control-
warranty or whatever
Yes.
going forward. Okay.
We'll be able to control cooling and heating.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion. We approve.
Second.
Motion from Gerald, second from David to approve. Further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor? That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 823 from Mr. C. Consider approve the selection of liability insurances at the renewal date of February 5th, 2026, including general liability, automobile liability, and physical damage, property, contractor equipment, and public entity management liability, employment practices, law enforcement liability, the employment benefit plan administration liability, and cyber crime liability and umbrella coverage. I think the umbrella got about all of this, all of the above, right? Okay.
Okay, let me say, for several years, we've been trying to get a quote from Texas Association of County Tax.
Yeah.
And we usually start trying to send information to them in like August, September. And this is for a February renewal. And the last 2 years, they come back and say, oh, we didn't have the information in time, so we can't quote it. So this year, I contacted them in June and working with Andrea, started sending them our Remember how many years of loss they requested? They request a lot. Number of employees, what kind of claims you had in the past. And we've had quite a few, as everybody knows. Our automobile has been pretty high, and we got the Dayton Annex, and then we got the jail, the fire. So sometimes it's kind of hard to get the quotes from people. I kept thinking they were going to because they kept asking for information, kept sending it to them. And then about Friday a week ago, I think, I contacted them and said, we put this on court. So they finally sent me a letter, or sent it to the judge, basically.
Yeah.
And it says, we cannot offer competitive terms on the law enforcement liability due to the jail's non-compliance with TCGS standards. A jail exclusion is required. And the past 4 years of auto losses have surpassed acceptable risk levels. And we do not offer standalone coverage, so we cannot offer general liability or public official liability. So anyway, we got an answer from them. I would like to have a quote just to see what the quote would be. So what we've done for the last several years is Choice Partners is a Houston ISD. Oh, it's Harris County Department of Education. Harris County Department of Education. It's their cooperative purchasing program. Just like my board is the one for TASB, which is the Texas School Board, whatever officials. So we've gone through them. McGriff has contracts with Choice Partners. So we've gone through them. They help us with our insurance plan. They shop it for us. And they analyze it all for us. So we have McGriff again. I'm going to turn it over to him because I just handed out to you what they've come up with. And this is the quote that we have right now. Of course, it's for commissioners to decide what to do.
Looks like it was a reduction in cost.
It is. The market has improved dramatically when it comes to.
Sure, glad to hear that, Ed. I really am.
Yeah, no, it's much more buyer friendly. So this second column is the current program in place today, right? And it was rated off of the top section of the exposures. So as you can see, it was a little over 80 million in budget, 108,000 in population. You can see employee count, auto count, property values, et cetera. And the total expenditure last year from a premium standpoint was 1.552 million, which was about $19.29 per $1,000 of budget. This next column in the blue takes all of the updated exposures and applies the current rates to it. So our budget's up 16%, population's up 6%, number of officers 13, full-time employees 9, auto units 3%. The values for those autos are up 13%. The property values are up 10%. So when we apply all of the rates in place, that's how we generate, well, what would a flat rate renewal be, right? We understand that if we have 2 vehicles and now we have 4, our premium's going to go up, but what did the cost per vehicle do? So what you'll see is that cost on a flat rate basis would have been just south of $1.7 million. The far right column is the actual program that we've identified to be the most competitive for the county. And what you'll see is it's pretty much rate reductions across the board, except for one line item in auto liability. That's up about 5%, which is a win. It doesn't matter if you're buying personal lines or whatever kind of business you're operating. A 5% increase for auto liability is pretty strong. Some program improvements this year, the auto physical damage, again, that's catastrophic coverage. Counties that have your fleet, this is how they buy auto physical damage. Basically, it removes the over-the-road component of the physical damage. So when the vehicle's parked and unoccupied, you have physical damage coverage for it. Because if you look at your loss history and you say, well, how much would auto physical damage cost this county? Well, it's north of $250,000, probably more like $275,000. So we get to pocket that as opposed to just giving money to an insurance company and then maybe having $100,000 worth of claims every year. It's not a very equitable trade for the county to give that money to an insurance carrier. So we were able to lower that deductible from $10,000 to $5,000. And we are able to lower the named storm deductible from 2% to 1%. And again, that's percent of the building that's damaged. So in theory, going from 2% to 1% on a $95 million schedule, it almost lowers your max deductible by $1 million. And then the total premium is 1.512, which is a $40,000 premium reduction, but a 16% rate reduction relative to overall cost to budget. And the number we just kind of like to keep throwing out there is since 2015, cost relative to budget is 25% less than what the county was spending 11 years ago.
It's a good story.
I like it. And we sit there at TPS, that's 2 years ago, been with Texas Political Subdivision, it's like TAC. It's a pool of county, cities, school district, colleges, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And if y'all renew this, it'll be another year.
Yeah.
Good. So you're recommending this, Harold, right?
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion from David to approve.
I'll second.
Motion from Gerald. Is there a second? Sorry. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank y'all, fellas.
Thank you.
Todd, you and Ben, thank you so much for coming down. Okay. Number 824 from Mr. C. Consider and approve the payment to McGriff in the amount of $19,318.11. It's a third quarter adjustment for additional assets. That's equipment and property that have been added. In other words, we bought a few cars since previous.
I don't know if I've ever seen one that big for a quarter, but let me tell you why. We added 5.2 million in buildings. This is like the third quarter, so this is like August, whatever. So when we occupied, took possession of the Northwest Annex, took possession of the new building over here where permits is, that was 5.2 million. We added some other smaller buildings on. We had 330,000 worth of equipment and a little over $1 million new automobiles. We added a lot.
Yeah.
Quarter.
We
It's
did.
not really unusual, but, and I also want to say, apologies to the county auditor. Before a bill can be paid, it has to be presented to the auditor before it's been commissioned court, but because of all the, like you said, the stuff going on the last few days, I did not get it to Dwayne. So, if you don't approve it, it may not be paid until your next, till it's on warrants payable, I think. I should have took it in first. I just got it in last week too.
So Harold, I definitely had some questions because some of these are listed in Road and Bridge Precinct 4.
Yeah.
And the buildings that are all mentioned, they've all been there. These aren't new. So what drove this change?
Well, I think you did, I think, because we usually send stuff out for the commissioner to go through and either mark out that you don't have any more, or we need to add so-and-so. And I think you.
Okay.
I mean, you called me and talked about some of them.
I know it's just, I thought this was just a standard validation that what we had is what we, because these buildings are, they've been there a long time. So were they not insured up until now?
Yeah, because they're small buildings. And people just don't think about putting them on the insurance. And that's another thing that I would like y'all to consider. It's been recommended by McGriff for years. And I don't know what it would cost, but to have a professional evaluation of all our buildings. Because we have no idea, we may be so underinsured or over.
Probably a good idea.
You good with this, Dwayne?
We get a quote, get a quote on that.
We can. All it takes is us sending your property schedule to 3 or 4 different vendors, and they'll turn around and quote maybe a week or so.
Okay.
But what you can do is you don't have to bite it all off 1 year. You can say, hey, let's do an appraisal over a 3-year period, and let's do, starting at the most valuable assets and then kind of work our way down. Or you can do it all at once. Cities, counties, schools all kind of do it differently.
Let's get some quotes and I'll put it back on court for y'all to consider.
But again, Harold, your office initiated this looking at what buildings we had. And so is there potentially more that aren't insured?
Well, let me say this. I have Heather working in my office, put her own insurance, and she is and hit the ground running.
That's
And
why we
worked
have
harder
this.
than anybody's worked on the play for years.
Okay.
She's really
So that's why we see this increase, because we're identifying things that have not been under the umbrella. So
big increase for cars and new built buildings, but all the smaller ones, yeah, they need to be.
Okay.
They need to be on there too.
Okay.
You gonna let old Army make it?
Make a motion to approve.
Dwayne, you gonna let old Army make it this time? Nope.
I didn't hear what you said.
I didn't hear what you said.
They want to know if it's okay to move to pay it, or do you want to wait and put it on another agenda?
Well, I mean, y'all approved it. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll probably go ahead and issue it, but not today.
Yeah.
We got about 300 other checks.
I'll second.
All right. So David, you made that
Yes.
motion, okay. Gerald said okay. And
He said he'd pay it.
Wayne said reluctantly. We're gonna let old Army off the hook, okay. Call for vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Item number, let's see, number 825, County Attorney's Office of Matthew, and consider and approve interlocal agreement between Liberty County and ESD 1 for fire protection services. Matthew?
Yes, we finally got to yes.
Finally got it squared away.
Yes, so they're the first and only to have returned a signed executed agreement with us, but they have done so. So
Okay. ESD 1 is Kennefic, correct?
Right.
that's correct. Yes, it's Kennefic ESD. So I recommend approval. It's in line with all our discussions in the past. And, yeah.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion from David,
I'll second.
second from Gerald. Further discussion. Call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Hold them up just a minute. We'll make sure I'm correct on this. Okay, the next two items, number 26 and 27. Number 26 from Mr. Poston and 27 from Mr. Poston. 26 is considered approved notice of intent to order removal of the gate across County Road 2300 for violation of Texas Transportation Code, Section 251.010E. And then 27 is consider and approve placement of signs near the spillway under the bridge on County Road 6494, warning the public to stay off the spillway. Not a bad idea because I've seen it. I would ask that we move into executive sessions on these two particular items under the purview of, let's see, 551.071, consultation with attorney. So at this time, if you gentlemen would consider executive session, I appreciate it. And make a motion and a second to move into session.
I'll make the motion. We move into executive session.
Second.
Motion from Gerald, second from David. Further discussion. Hearing none, call the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And it's now 10:45. And we are in executive session. It's now 11:26. And we are back in regular session. We had three items, two which will require some sort of a consideration for approval or denial. Number one was consultation with attorney for the Texas Government Code for the Commissioners Court to consult, seek advice from its attorney regarding the transport of hazardous materials by private entities on county roads in Liberty County, Texas. And Matthew, you have anything you want to add to that?
Yes, I would ask approval for my office to send out notice to all adjoining landowners.
No,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not on the agenda.
That's not the item.
Wait.
He was talking
Oh,
about
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was gathering my thoughts. So, yeah, no, we do not have any action
That was-
associated with the
that was-
first executive session. Sorry, all.
That's
I was
okay.
trying to find it there.
I thought we were fixing to jump out of the huddle and call a hut.
Yeah.
So that was just consideration, okay. Item number 2 was consultation with attorney about the Texas Government Code for Commissioners Court to consult with and seek advice from its attorney regarding notice of intent to order removal of a gate across County Road 2300 for a violation of Texas Transportation Code Section 251.010E. Has the court had the opportunity to review this? And what is,
Yeah.
if so, what is your
I'm sorry.
pleasure?
Okay, I would like to make the motion that we approve notice of intent to order removal of the gate across County Road 2300 for violation of the Texas Transportation Code.
And that's corresponds with item 826.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's gonna put the notice up?
I would ask for
Road
the,
and Bridge?
No, it'd be our office.
Okay, your
yeah,
office?
our
Okay.
office. Yeah, we're talking about item 2 here, which is the sending notice to the adjoining landowners for a hearing on an order to remove the gate. I would ask also that we set a date of the.
There's a time requirement in the statute.
Yeah.
I think it's, oh gosh, somewhere between 60 and 120 days.
Yeah, pretty sure it's 90. But how about this? That you'll set a date on the first regular meeting after 90, or the first regular meeting after the expiration of that date, if it starts today.
I don't know how to make that in a motion, but I'll accept that as part of my motion.
Okay, so the motion is to approve notice to be sent by your office, and then the Commissioners Court will hear the issue 90 days after the notice, or?
Well, after the time period set in the statute.
Okay.
And I'm just blanked on that right at the moment. Pretty sure it's 90 days.
But that's something that can be set up later, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's your
Got
motion,
it.
Jerry?
Yes, it is.
Second.
Motion and a second from David. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion is approved. Let's move on down to our third item in the executive session, which coincides with number 27.
Yes.
Consider and approve placement of signs near the spillway under the bridge on County Road 6494, warning the public to stay off the spillway.
I'll make the motion to approve.
All right. Got a motion from Gerald,
Second.
second from David. Any further discussion?
Who's gonna place the notices? Is it your,
I believe
is it
it's
Road and Bridge 1?
Precinct 4, Road and Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Make a motion to adjourn.
Hang on. You're going too fast for me here.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm almost there. Okay, now I'm at the bottom.
All right.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second motion to adjourn, second from Gerald, and it is 11:31. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.